I'm going to try doing the Artist's Way, a 12-week course, in 12 days. Now, I know I will not get out of this what I am supposed to get out of this course by doing it this way. I don't think you can speed run a spiritual journey of discovery. However, hear me out, I've had this book for about 10 years. And in that decade, I've probably attempted the course about maybe 5 times. And every time I start with the best intentions. I do week 1, week 2, sometimes week 3. Once I reached week 4 and then didn't complete that. And I just don't get past the first few weeks. So I have this big Artist's Way shaped cloud looming over me because all these people have recommended it to me, and I've heard a lot of people out there on the internet having had great transformative experiences with this book. And so I kind of think, what if the only thing holding me back is that I haven't completed this book? I would be living such a different creative life if only I could complete this book. So this cloud is hanging over me, and I thought, what if I could get a taste for it? Because I think one of the things that are holding me back, one of them is that it's difficult to commit to stuff, right? So I'm not pretending that I give up after a few weeks for lofty, good reasons. But one of the reasons is that I do have some reservations about the book and about the way it's written. I'm going to put this down because I keep on gesticulating with it. I've heard a lot of people have issues with the woo-woo, new agey language and finding that quite off-putting. And I'm not very woo-woo-y. I mean, I'm not woo-woo-y at all, and more power to you if you are woo-woo-y. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not criticism of the book. It's just that I personally didn't quite connect with some of it. And of course, in the beginning of the book, Julia Cameron is very clear that if you don't vibe with the term God, you can substitute it with anything. You don't need to be a religious or spiritual person in order to get stuff out of this book. But yet, I think that's one of the reservations I have about the book. And I thought, if I do a speed run of the book, by the end of it, I will at least know, is this something that could actually work for me and I should commit to the 12 weeks? Or is this something that isn't really my cup of tea, and then I can let it go and I cannot have this Artist's Way cloud hanging over me? Is this the only thing standing between myself and my dream creative life? Is it just because I haven't finished the Artist's Way? So today I'm going to prep. Today is day 0. I'm going to start tomorrow with the first week. So I have this stationery drawers set from the dearly departed Paperchase. It has this nice floral pattern on it, and I thought I will fill it up with what I think I may need for the book. So as I said, I have read the first 4 chapters before, and I also scanned through it today, so I have a bit of an idea of the kind of tasks that are going to come up. By the way, if you're not familiar with the course, it's a 12-week course where every week you get a reading and then you get a number of tasks to do during that week. And the base principle is morning pages. The base principles are the morning pages and the artist dates. The morning pages are 3 pages of freehand writing that you do first thing in the morning every day. And it's actually something that I do quite often. That it's one thing that's kind of stuck from all those times trying to do the book. I don't do them every single day, but I do them often. And the other thing is the artist's date, where you take yourself solo out on a date. And the idea is that you're kind of cultivating your artist self, your child self, your creative self with that. And then every week you're getting different tasks to do. Some are writing tasks, some are practical tasks like going out there and collecting rocks and so on. First of all, I have a notebook. And it's this wonderful sequined notebook with a sort of holographic color to it. And I got this a long time ago. I don't remember from where, maybe somewhere like The Works. And it's amazing. It's the most fun notebook ever. But what do you use it for? You know, you're not going to take this into the office. So what better use for it than the Artist's Way? So I have a notebook and I'm going to be kind of taking all my notes in here. Next up, I'm going to fill one of the drawers in that box I showed you with kind of decorative stuff. So quite a few of the weekly tasks, things are similar to collage. So I think it'll be useful to have little bits of bits out of magazines that I've saved over the years. I have collected a lot of stickers. I've collected a strange amount of washi tape for someone who has never once used washi tape. I actually found a whole other box full of bits of paper that I've saved over the years. So I'm going to leave this next to my desk as it is, because there's no point in me trying to sort through it right now. There's also little pictures of some sumo wrestlers, of course. So I'm going to leave this next to my desk so that I can get stuff out of it if needed. In the second drawer, I'm going to put things to write with, because there's a lot of writing involved in this course. So I have this little calligraphy set, this mini calligraphy set. It's so cute, and I think it will make me feel excited about writing some of the stuff. And then the last drawer is going to be sort of practical supplies. So I have some tape, I have some double-sided tape. And then, of course, very important, my supplies for morning pages. At the moment, when I do morning pages, which, as I mentioned, I do sometimes, I use a notebook. It's lined paper, but it's also quite, it's about this size. It's not a full A4, and I think it's supposed to be A4. And I'm going to be going through the introduction and the basic principles, basically everything that comes before the start of week 1, this chunk. To be clear, I haven't purchased any of the things you saw in this video for this project, so if nothing else, I guess I've discovered that I have a lot of stationery supplies that I don't use. So I hope you'll join me for this admittedly quite unhinged take on The Artist's Way, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.